What's up, everybody? Welcome to Kinda Funny Games Daily for Wednesday, April 18th, 2018. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside the rogue one, Gary Whitta.
It's been a while. Feels like it's been a while.
It's been a long time. You and Jared were in here doing duty for a long time.
Yeah, I did like 3 shows in a row with him. We did that really epic long one while you guys were away, and then we did a couple of normal ones.
Yeah, people love them. They love you guys.
Yeah, we're a popular combo.
We got a whole family now going.
Come on, though, you can't beat the OGs.
This is the original. This is the peanut butter and jelly with the
Greg, original Gary.
Yeah.
The OG.
Here's what I need to
really
know.
Want.
When did the haircut happen? You look phenomenal.
I do?
Yes. This is the best you've looked on this show.
I did it the other day. It was like the most unglamorous haircut I ever had. I was literally walking to Walgreens to get a couple of things that I needed, and there's a little old-fashioned corner barber shop on the corner with the pole and everything.
Yeah,
And I was
you gotta have the pole. You gotta have the pole.
Looking a bit shaggy, so I thought I'll go in and get this taken care of. I like the spontaneity of it.
Sure.
Just get it done.
Kevin Coelho from kindafunny.com. You had a question?
Oh, I was just gonna ask: is it by the tattoo place?
It might be. It's on Taraval.
No, it is not. It is not.
Were you thinking about this one?
Oh, yeah, the one down there.
Yeah. The Walgreens over there. Yeah.
I know which one you mean. Yeah. There's a Walgreens everywhere.
It's true. There is, except when you need it.
It's true.
They need to mail my taxes. Walking to the post office. Well, first off, I woke up. I'm like, I waited the last second. I'm an idiot.
Why would you do that?
Because I'm an idiot, Kevin, and I lead a very busy life and where I hate chores. Yes, I do, Kevin.
Not that busy.
Yes, I do. I've been on the road 3 weeks in a row.
You should have. Surely at this point, you should have people.
Oh yeah, my taxes are too complicated.
Right.
All they do is send back the people, and they're like, "Cool, sign this, mail this check. That's all you got to do." And I still put it off, and I put it off, and I put it off.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
But I walk around the house. I set aside morning on Monday. I'm going to do it. Great. Walk around the house trying to find envelopes. Can't find them. No envelopes. All right, whatever.
To this day, all of my invoices, receipts, pay stubs, tax things, everything that is important to my financial life, I literally still keep in a shoebox.
Nice.
That's like as organized as it gets.
Do you then go through it when time comes and put it in categories?
It's my least favorite time of the year.
Right.
I hate it.
Every year I think about it.
And
maybe
even when you have
go.
people, you still have to send them all the stuff that you
got to tell
have.
them the number. You got to tell them the number for it.
Just horrible.
But I went to the post office to get stamps and an envelope for this huge line. Went to the drugstore next door, which is a local one. They had envelopes, no stamps. Went back to the post office. I'm like, you know what, man? Maybe I just won't pay taxes anymore. Maybe I just walk off. I've never heard of anyone getting caught other than Willie Nelson. So I don't think they're that great at it.
What's his face, too?
If you didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday, we run you through the nerdy video game news you need to know about. If you like that, be part of the show at kindafunny.com/KFGD. Use the Google form to submit your questions, comments, concerns, bad PSN names, and everything else under the video game sun. Then watch us record the show live on twitch.tv/kindafunnygames. If you're watching live, you have a special job. You need to go to kindafunny.com/you're wrong. Another Google form. Tell us what we screw up as we screw it up so we can set the record straight for everybody watching later on youtube.com/kindafunnygames and listening on podcast services around the globe. Housekeeping for you today. Over on twitter.com/kindafunnyvids. It is your time to decide who goes to the Kinda Funny Best Friend Tournament Championship. It's either going to be Barbara Dunkelman or DiGiorno the Pizza to go face Elise from Funhouse.
I'm not even going to ask about these brackets anymore.
You've seen it. It's been going. Yeah.
It's your thing.
You got to dodge the bullet.
I don't
no
need
co-host.
to understand it.
The rule was no co-host.
That was the rule. I wondered why I wasn't in there.
You're too close. You're family. You can't do it. So no co-hosts, no significant others.
I'm too much in the inner circle.
In the old days, you would have been in there because you're a guest. But
that's the right way to do it, though. It's like, why was I left out? Well, because you're too
good. You're too special. You're too good.
Right,
can't do it.
Yeah, good answer. I like it.
Meanwhile, new party modes are up over on YouTube. You can go watch us play Rainbow Six Siege like a bunch of morons. And then on patreon.com/kindafunnygames, you can go watch us play Fortnite. That one already on the subreddit. There's a lot of talk of people crying while they watch it because it's too funny. Big fan of it. Just $1. If you like what we do, please, patreon.com/kindafunnygames. Check it out. This episode is brought to you by Hims. But I'll tell you about that later. For now, let's begin the show with what is and forever will be the Roper Report. Time for some news. 2 items on the Roper Report.
A baker's dozen!
Thank you, Kev. I appreciate everything you got there. That's a lot of energy, and I know that. Now, usually you'd say 2 items. Spit on the floor. That's a terrible Roper Report. Not even worth the show. Why are we turning on the lights?
Why am I even here?
Why are we paying Gary to be here?
My time is valuable, Craig. 2 items.
The first item, long, detailed, and you guys had a million questions about it. So we're going to start right there.
This is a big item.
This is a big one.
This is like 3 regular items in one because it's so big.
Exactly. Okay. It's mega packed. It's double stuffed. You know what I mean?
Megaton.
Yeah, exactly.
Bombshell.
The rumors are flying that Call of Duty Black Ops 4 won't have a single player campaign and instead will have a Battle Royale campaign kind of thing. Battle Royale multiplayer. Polygon reported that headline, just that it won't have a single player. And it goes on to say, the sources who asked for anonymity said that as Black Ops 4's release date approaches, it became evident that development on the single-player campaign wouldn't be completed. One source said Treyarch has since focused Black Ops 4 development on expanding multiplayer and the series' popular Zombies mode. The source described an emphasis on cooperative modes as a potential stand-in for the typical single-player campaign experience. Once this went live, Gary, the floodgates opened. Everybody had a source with something to say.
It was a feeding frenzy.
Charlie Intel reports Charlie Intel heard similar rumors last month from a tipster, and that same tipster also informed CI, Charlie Intel, that Raven Software has reportedly been tasked with adding a Battle Royale mode to Call of Duty Black Ops 4 to fill the content gap of no campaign. Then Eurogamer comes off the bench and says one of Eurogamer's sources backed up the report about the inclusion of a Battle Royale mode. Adding context, our source said Call of Duty's Battle Royale mode may not hit the magic 100-player mark seen in other Battle Royale games at the time Black Ops 4 comes out, but developers are working towards that number. Again, it's worth pointing out video game development is a tricky business and plans often change. Going way back to the Polygon article that started all this, where all they were saying is, hey, sources say no single player in Call of Duty Black Ops 4. They reached out to Activision, and Activision just said, we don't comment on rumors and speculation. We're excited to tell you more at the Call of Duty reveal, May 17th, 2018, right around the corner. Gary Whitta, what's your initial read on these rumors that seem pretty real?
Well, there's a couple of things kind of converging here that we've talked about on recent shows, I think. Jared and I think we were just talking about this past week. I made a prediction, I think it was on this show last week or the week before, that EA, the kind of what you think of as typically as like the big three, EA, Activision, and Ubisoft were all, I would stake my reputation on it, they were all working on their own Battle Royale type games or modes to be delivered through their existing franchises. So like EA, probably most likely Battlefield, Activision, obviously Call of Duty, and Ubisoft probably through the Tom Clancy division or whatever, Wildlands, whatever it may be.
I bet it'll be Division.
Makes sense it would fall under the Tom Clancy brand. Yeah, it could be a new kind of Dark Zone mode or something.
Division 2, I think there'll be some kind of mode like that.
That felt like, you know, what happened with PUBG and now Fortnite, obviously, is so sensational that everybody's got to get in on the action. So hot right now.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So hot
right now.
Just got to get in there.
Yeah.
Everybody wants a piece of that consle gaming trend. 100 player Battle Royale is the consle of gaming right now. Yeah. Right? We all agree on that. So all of these companies smell blood in the water. They smell money. They want in. So that part of it is not surprising to me. This is like just the first domino to falling. Like, yes, of course they were going to do this. Bit disappointing if they can't hit 100 because that's already been established as the gold standard. H1Z1 and then the original
Fortnite,
Armor mods and then H1Z1 and now obviously PlayerUnknown and Fortnite have all established 100 is the number. If they come in with less than that, especially I would imagine that one of the benefits that they can speak to, whether it be Activision, EA, Ubisoft, whoever, it's like, but we can bring PUBG and Fortnite are both still have that kind of slightly rough around the edges kind of indie feel to them, like getting better every day.
Yeah.
But EA and Activision and Ubisoft can come in with like full AAA production values and all the bells and whistles.
That is what.
So if they come in with under 100, that to me looks weak. That looks like what it is, which is rushed out to cash in on a trend.
This whole story, right, is in one way, expected. Of course there's going to be a Battle Royale map.
Yes.
In the other, it's the fact that it seems like they got caught with their pants down, right? Where they were working on the single. It's not that this was like,
so this wasn't a decision that they weren't saying like, single players, that's dead, nobody wants that anymore. They were trying, they just couldn't meet it.
It became evident that development on the single player campaign wouldn't be completed. So it sounds like, and granted, this is all rumor and speculation, but it sounds like internally, Treyarch is working on the single player campaign, but somewhere along it's just like, we are not going to hit the ship date. We have to shift to being a multiplayer game.
Is not surprising in almost any other context, but the Call of Duty machine at this point, where they're cycling, 3 or 4 different developers each? Is it 3 or 4 years?
It's Treyarch, it's Infinity Ward, it is, Raven's always doing multiplayer, Treyarch, Infinity Ward, and then Sledgehammer, so it's 3.
Right, so you got this 3-year cycle. Like, if you want to talk about like a finely well-oiled machine that that can be relied upon to put a game out every holiday season, it's Activision and Call of Duty.
And that's
so
why
the fact that Treyarch, that they somehow are like, oh, we can't do it this year, is really almost kind of unfathomable.
And then that happens, and it's like, wow, I can't fucking believe that. But then the fact that, Raven Software has reportedly been tasked with adding a Battle Royale mode. And then Eurogamer's addition here, right, of like, they're not going to hit 100 players at launch probably, but they're working towards that number. Again, that means that, hey, fuck, we're not going to hit single player, and this is Treyarch. Everybody focus on making the multiplayer as good as you can. Meanwhile, they ring up Bobby Kotick, who rings up Raven, and like, you gotta make a Battle Royale mode. There's still, I feel like, at this point in the launch of a Call of Duty game, it should be really far along. We should have this.
They shouldn't be making, let's reinvent what the game is this late in the day.
Theoretically, and I'm not a game designer, but you figure they ship their last Black Ops game, then they have 2 years where they're working on the next Black Ops game, because that's, they have how the Call of Duty cycle works.
Right.
To get here and have it, like, we're still putting, the cars like rolling off the assembly line, and they're running up with doors trying to put it on. And it makes it sound like, that they're going to launch and be like, all right, cool, we're starting with 50, and then they're going to make a big deal maybe down the line that there's
I don't know. Well, I mean, and we should stress this is all just rumor and speculation, right? We don't have any information. But just for fun, assuming that this is generally true, and I guess we'll know in about a month, it sounds
May 17th,
I don't know. Maybe there might be some deliberation here. They might have decided, look, where are our resources best spent? Either in the hottest trend in gaming right now, which is Battle Royale, or another single-player campaign that people are going to think about for 6 hours, make some fun of, and then forget about.
And let's jump over then to Shadow Kaiju, who says, hell, Gary and Greg. I think you might mean hello and just forgot the O. A rumor came out today that Call of Duty Black Ops 4 will not have a campaign, and I think it's a false rumor. But that got me thinking. Since Black Ops 2 in 2012, I didn't care for any of the single-player campaigns until World War II in 2017. And Call of Duty games usually are the most selling / highest grossing games of the year, with World War II making $1 billion in December 2017. Let's take the devil's advocate seat, and let's say that the rumor is true. Then where is all that money going to go to? With that kind of success, they can make a story mode that can match the best single-player games, but we are given the same forgettable main character and the same boring set pieces. Or is it just a numbers game and a high percentage of the players don't play the single player, so they don't see the need for a really great campaign? Thank you for being awesome. Sorry for my grammar. Don't worry. Shadow Kaiju. This is the point.
Yeah,
is that I think there are plenty of people, myself included, who when a Call of Duty comes out, I jump in and play the single player. And usually don't even complete them. Get bored. All right, it's more shooting. That's fine. Whatever. I thought in years past, right, it seems like we've been seeing them focus on it a little bit more, right? Where it was, all right, cool, Infinity Ward's doing Infinite Warfare, and they got these guys from Uncharted, and I got to go to the soundset and see how they're framing the shots and making this whole story work that way. World War II again. We want to give you this Band of Brothers feeling. I like those cast of characters. I just got distracted and never went back to it. It seems like people have actually been putting more money and time and love into the single player campaign, but I wonder if, first off, here it wasn't coming together, but also the fact of they just don't see a return on that. Like, does it matter that that's why I play Call of Duty for a little bit? No.
I mean, they have better player information than we do. They may well have been seeing decreased interest in single player. Like, a lot of people don't play the single player, right? They just go straight. First thing they do when the game boots up is go to zombies or multiplayer or whatever. Yeah. It's a shame for people like me because the single player is the only part I play. Yeah. I like the story. I don't think, again, I wouldn't look at this as another part of the story is going away. I think you're going to continue to see games like Uncharted, Last of Us, God of War, and all the indie games will continue to deliver great story. It might be, though, that with these particular kinds of games, Call of Duty, where everyone knows the multiplayer is the majority reason why you get it, and now Battle Royale has shown up saying, well, look, come on, you really want to be spending your resources over here. I don't know. It kind of makes sense to me that they would do it this way.
And it's right now. It's easy for us to sit here and be like, how you were saying like, oh, everybody's working on Battle Royale mode. Da 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 da. A Call of Duty Battle Royale mode is exciting, right? Because hey, guess what? Shooting and the way Call of Duty plays feels awesome. And as somebody who's like a novice first-person shooter person, it isn't my genre. I enjoy playing them here and there. When I play at Call of Duty, I'm like, wow, this feels great. This feels the way it should. So to take that mechanics, or those mechanics, I should say, drop them into a Battle Royale mode and put a spin on it, that'd be interesting.
For them to be able to take everything, all the years of experience and know-how that developed in terms of like gunplay, weapon feel, level design mechanics, all of that kind of stuff. I mean, at this point, you'd like to think that Treyarch, Infinity Ward, and these guys are pretty expert when it comes to how to design like a multiplayer shooter. To be able to take all of that institutional knowledge and apply it to a Battle Royale template potentially can be really interesting. The reason why they might be struggling, again, I'm no expert, but I have heard from people that know this sort of stuff over the course of like the past year that getting 100 players running around on a map is hard to do.
Latency,
It's a big technical. It's part of the reason why PUBG was such a big breakthrough is that it had not really been done well before, and they cracked it.
Sure.
And so it may well be that they're trying to figure out what chicanery, what dark arts, the guys in South Korea and the Fortnite guys are using to get that running in a stable way. I do think that if they come out of the box with 50 players, it's going to look weak.
Yeah, but what if it's... Here's the thing is, I think when the PUBG stuff happened with Fortnite and they put out their release and everybody's like, that was a weird thing to do. But eventually, player unknown himself, Brendan Green, right, said like, hey, I understand it's a thing. I just want to see people put their own spin on it.
Right.
If Call of Duty was to say, hey, it's a 50-player Battle Royale and you don't airlift in, you do whatever, and like you're still using the... strikes or whatever, the things you earn in Call of Duty games that like used to be drone strikes and all this other jazz. Like there's enough way that I think if you're bringing in the entire multiplayer suite of Call of Duty and that the way it feels and the way it should play, I feel like it could look weak on paper that there's only 50 players, but if you see it and it is this intense, beautiful explosions, everything's amazing looking and it looks like Call of Duty. There's a way to do that.
We're at kind of an inflection point now where the Battle Royale trend is going to go beyond a trend. It's just going to be one of the new major ways that we play. Like remember when Capture the Flag first came along, or domination type maps where you have to control the control points. Or remember when Payload first came along and Payload became a big deal and so everyone was doing Payload. Battle Royale, while harder because again it's a bigger map and more server architecture and so forth, and more technical headaches, is just going to be everyone's going to have to check this box.
So
I think that as you said, putting it in the worlds where they already have a lot of expertise could be really interesting. I would love to play Division Battle Royale, like in the urban kind of
and
dark
that's my
zone.
thing. I love Division. I'd love to do that.
That would be a totally different experience to say PUBG, where it's like a big open world with a lot of kind of landscape, and there are interiors, but you think of it mostly as like out in the world.
Right, yeah, you're running through fields.
But like kind of close quarter, house to house, like battles in the streets in a big urban Division type environment.
100%.
That would be awesome.
Exactly, and that's why I like it. Here's my question for you, something we've talked about before on the show with other hosts. Do you see this, and I think I already know where you are right there, is this a fad, Battle Royale, fad, or is it a new genre, or is it a mode? Are we moving to a point where you can, from here on out, you can't do, I'm doing a Battle Royale game. You can do a Battle Royale mode in your multiplayer suite. Or is this just going to be something that's burned out altogether?
I don't think it's a fad. I think it's already demonstrated that obviously PUBG is massive. Fortnite is massive as well.
Radical Heights is doing well right now too.
Radical Heights, of course. Everyone's getting, like I said, the Hansel factor. Everyone's getting in on it.
So hot right now.
So that is all. It's here to stay. Battle Royale in one way or another is here to stay, and I think it might be both. To answer the second part of your question, I think that there are going to be games like Fortnite, like PUBG, which are that's what they do. They're Battle Royale games, and I think you're going to see increasingly now the big franchises offering Battle Royale as in the same way that Zombies is like a big deal that gets added on to Black Ops every year.
Sure.
I think that's what you're going to see Battle Royale be. Because it's too big to just be like another mode, right? Because it's a totally different way to play.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a new kind of third box that every one of these big games has to have, or people are going to go get their Battle Royale jollies someplace else.
Okay. Final question on this front comes from Tony at Jericho TVB on Twitter, who says, or wrote into kindoffunny.com/KFGD, just like you can, and says, Hi, Greg and the Rogue One. We've heard the news that Call of Duty Black Ops 4 will not have a single-player campaign. Again, rumor. Can you think of another game or franchise that would benefit from excising its single-player campaign in favor of going multiplayer only? Please don't say Marvel Spider-Man. All the love for KFGD Tony. What long-running franchise do you think should rip out its single-player campaign?
Well, I'm a story guy, so it's hard for me to kind of think of. I mean, I don't know what's additive about just taking something out. The question is, what's interesting about the Black Ops story is, again, if true, they're redirecting resources away from single player, which they think is kind of a dead end, and into something which is a potentially new and lucrative world for them, which is Battle Royale. So would there be some games that would be better off if they just spent more time on the multiplayer and not spent resources on single player? Probably. Yeah. But I like story, so I'm probably the wrong person to ask.
I like story too, so that's my thing. I like it in reverse. I really appreciated that when they did Rise of the Tomb Raider, they're like, all right, cool, we're not going to... That multiplayer mode we clearly tacked on in the first game that nobody cared about, we're taking away. Right. And I like the fact that it was for the longest time, hey, we're a single player game, but we have this multiplayer mode. That was never great. That was never what it's about.
I remember Tomb Raider, obviously Grand Theft Auto finally cracked it, but for a long time, there were games that were majority single player. Tomb Raider is a really great example. But multiplayer started becoming popular, and people said, well, don't you need to kind of find some way to get multiplayer in there? And so they did, but it always felt tacked on. It wasn't really... didn't feel organic.
Right.
Nobody really wanted to play those modes, and so they realized it was kind of a non-starter.
Yeah, it was everybody trying to figure out how to save single-player games. Yeah, when in reality, just make a great single-player game.
Just make really good ones. Yeah, as we still see with, and again, they all have multiplayer backends now. But the Red Deads and Mass Effects of the world, the good story and the good single-player campaign is what. Now, does God of War have any multiplayer?
Nope. God of War is
straight up.
Here's what we are.
I love it.
I
can't wait to play that.
Yeah,
very excited.
Yeah. Number 2. This is a short one for you. Epic has pulled the guided missile from Fortnite. This is via a Reddit patch note over there from an Epic representative who says, we've gotten a lot of feedback around the guided missile, in particular concerns over fairness and strength of the weapon. We share your concerns, so we've put the guided missile into the vault while we figure out what the next steps are for its future.
Little OP. Guided missile does sound like something you could do a lot of damage with.
Yeah. Have you fallen into Fortnite yet?
No,
what are you doing?
I'm a PUBG man.
Oh, okay. You're staying true to it.
PUBG through and through.
You still playing a lot of it?
I haven't been playing as much as I was last year when I was playing a lot.
Yeah, you were streaming for a while.
Yeah, I was streaming for a while, and then just life and work got in the way. I'm going to return to it though.
Okay, Kevin, you're over there for PUBG. When's the last time you played PUBG?
It's probably been like a month.
Yeah,
but I've had a busy month.
You and that Snowbike Mike kid still? Tom Bach?
I haven't played with them in a little while, but I miss them, and I really want to play with them.
Sure.
They're my buddies.
But now you got God of War.
Yeah, definitely not playing this weekend.
Okay,
definitely not playing this weekend.
Gary, I'm excited to see what happens with Call of Duty business, but it's so far away.
You'd think that they would have, with all this feeding friends. I know I just messed up your segue.
You son of a bitch.
Activision, again, maybe they'll wait the extra month, but I feel like they need to get out in front of this and say, okay, look, here's what's actually happening.
Just let it go. They've already announced their date. They can't let these internet sleuthers and rumors and all this stuff. They got to stand strong.
But as you pointed out, Greg, May 17th.
It's so far away.
It is so far away.
Gary, if I wanted to know what video games were coming to the mom and grop shops today, where would I go?
The official list of upcoming software across each and every platform as listed by the Kinda Funny Games daily show hosts each and every weekday. Yeah. I have missed that. I will say that.
I got you.
When Jared doesn't do it.
It's jazz. Any host, however they want to do it, can do it. I'm not going to get in their way.
I mean,
I'm not going to tell Jared he's failing. I'm not going to dock his pay.
I don't think other people should be trying to emulate it. It's your thing.
Yeah.
Anything else is going to feel like a bad cover version.
It's true. Okay. Out today, somewhere, The Vault Papers is now available for Android devices.
Wow. This might be the worst week ever for games releases that I've been in.
Was it bad? You mean just for Wednesday?
I mean, the worst Wednesday. I mean, that's it. One game and it's an Android game.
Oh, yeah. No, I was surprised when I went to the Kotaku sheet today and there was just nothing for Wednesday. Everybody's trying to get away from God of War, I assume. But,
God of War is the
Friday.
is the big mama this weekend, right?
Yeah. New dates for you, however. Another Lost Phone, Laura's Story, is coming to Nintendo Switch on April 26th. Cosmic Star Heroine is finally coming to the PlayStation Vita on April 24th. And then Spider-Man, Hostile Takeover. It's a prequel book not a comic book, but a novel to the Spider-Man PlayStation 4 game is coming out August 21st.
A prequel novel?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Telling you this about the Kingpin, Spider-Man.
Are you going to read that? I know you're really into the Spider-Man. Are you going to read that to kind of tide you over?
I feel I'd rather the game speak and tell me its story than jump in and try to see how this links together. I always feel like I remember, you remember, of course, the hit film Superman Returns.
I do remember it, yes.
I remember reading those prequel comics leading into it, and I was like, wow, this movie has so much amazing story to it. I can't wait to get into this fucking film. And you get there, and nothing from those comic books is even remotely touched on. And
I didn't know they did those prequel comics.
Wow. There was a lot of cool storyline threads in there where, like, one of them, right, in this thing was the fact that Martha, Clark's mom, had been sending Lois postcards for the 5 years Superman was gone.
Because he went back to Krypton, right?
Right. He went out to see what they had found like a giant chunk of Krypton floating out in space. He wanted to go see if it was really dead. They filmed all this stuff too. It was supposed to be phenomenal.
I remember seeing some of that stuff.
Well, and remember then what they did in the theatrical version was they cut all of it because the movie's too long. Just put up text. Superman's been gone for 5 years. He went to find Krypton.
I remember it well.
But Martha sent postcards as Clark to Lois, so it didn't look like Clark dropped off the face of the earth.
Okay.
Cal Penn's character had a whole bunch of exposition and dialogue and how he ran into that. And then the movie literally has 0 lines.
Yeah.
Fucking Superman Returns.
Strange. Movie development.
Action Comics.
Who'd be in that business?
It's cutthroat, you know what I mean? Especially for writers. That they get these great ideas, they put them on page, and somebody else comes in and just poops all over them, ruins
Poor
them.
bastards.
Saps, that's what I call them. Deals of the day for you. Our friend Steve from Able Gamers writes in and says, "Hey, best friends, Steve here from Able Gamers. I just wanted to let you all know about this amazing comic book bundle from Titan Comics. It's your typical humble bundle where you get a ridiculous amount of comic books for a super low price. But the best part? The humble bundle benefits able gamers and gamers with disabilities. Comics from Assassin's Creed, Tekken, Dishonored, and more can all be yours for the next 7 days while helping a great cause. Don't miss out and tell him Greg sent you." When I asked, Steven hit me up and he's like, "I'm doing this thing, Able Gamers in the Humble Bundle for comics. I think it's a good fit." I was like, you know what? Give me a short link and send me a letter on why we should do it. And he said, all right. And then there was no link in here. So I'm looking real quick to see if I can direct you to an easy place to get this Humble Bundle. I mean, Humble Bundle, I guess. But I don't use Humble Bundle all that often, you know?
I imagine that would be a good place to go for
You would think so, but I'm like, what is it? Humble Bundle. I'm going to Humble Bundle on Twitter and see if they've tweeted about it. They have not. So I guess go to Humble Bundle.
I would say go to Humble Bundle. If you can't find it there, they're not
advertising.
right.
Here, I'm going to humblebundle.com now on my mobile device. And it's loading up. It's there. Yeah. There it is. Gaming Comics. There you go. The Titan Humble Bundle book thing. Gaming Comics by Titan. That benefits Able Gamers. A friend of our show. Steve's a great dude.
Great cause.
Help him out. Here we go. You got a lot more deals of the day for you. Gamefly is doing a pre-owned PlayStation 4 and Xbox One sale, so you can go there and get stuff cheap.
I didn't know Gamefly was still around.
Oh, yeah, totally. They're still kicking.
Okay.
Best Buy has a PlayStation 4 game sale for exclusives like Uncharted, Lost Legacy, and Horizon. They're like a whole bunch more. They're all discounted severely. Someone wrote into the questions, of course, kindoffunny.com/KFGD, trying to say that a whole bunch of PlayStation games, period, had gotten price reductions. I couldn't find proof of that, but for sure they're at Best Buy. Meanwhile, PSN has a double discount sale. PlayStation Plus members can scoop up select titles for 60% off. Non-members save up to 30%. Then PSN has a totally digital sale they've announced. This is one of their deals about, you can pre-order games early, get all this jazz, get discounts. It comes out 4/24, so next week. The Swords of Ditto comes out. You can get 20% off. You can pre-order right now for that. May 1st, Guns of Icarus Alliance comes out. You can get 25% off there. May 8th, Trailblazers comes out. I think is our Let's Play already up of that for party mode? Kev, can you give me a check on that? It is? You can go to youtube.com/kindoffunnygames. Check out our Trailblazers party mode, which is a fun multiplayer game. Another one you can pre-order now and get 20% off of. Then May 15th, Laser League comes out. Starting on the 24th, you can pre-order for 20% off. And then NBA Playgrounds 2 comes out on May 22nd. You can pre-order starting on April 24th for 20% off. A lot of deals of the day today, Gary.
All right.
You like to save $1, right?
Oh, yeah. Nothing I like. I'll clip the coupons. I'll do whatever I can to save a penny.
Like, oh, yeah. Yeah, I like saving some money. Good.
Who doesn't?
I don't know. I can what? Oh, Nick Scarpino does like to pay full price. But Thanks to our sponsor, Reader Mail. You don't have to for wellness products for men. This is Hims. Do you want some help keeping your hair? Then let me tell you about our sponsor, Hims. 66% of men lose their hair by the age of 35, and it's easier to keep what you have than replace what you've lost. Forhims.com is a one-stop shop for hair loss, skincare, sexual wellness, and more for men. Nick and Andy are both doing the hair loss regimen right now. From what they tell me, it's pretty easy and awesome. You go there, you upload photos of yourself, they look at it, they'll link you up with a doctor to have a consultation to then find the generic equivalent of the hair loss product you need that then is way cheaper than going there. Plus, you don't have to go to the doctor's office, you don't have to do all the calls, you don't have to do any of that jazz. No awkward waiting rooms is what they like to say. So, ladies and gentlemen, you can get your well-known generic equivalents to name brand prescriptions and help you keep your hair by saving hours and going to forhims.com. Order now. My listeners get a trial month of Hims for just $5 today, right now while supplies last. You can see the full website for details. This would cost hundreds if you went to a doctor or pharmacy. Go to forhims.com/gamesdaily. That's forhims.com/gamesdaily. Forhims.com/gamesdaily.
All right.
Now, where do I want? I know what I want to start with you.
Where you going?
Gary Whitta.
What?
Montana W wrote in to kindafunny.com/KFGD and put in parentheses by the name, yes, really, Montana W. How can many people justify upgrading their console to a PlayStation 4 Pro or an Xbox One X when in only 2 years, people are going to pay for brand new consoles that is rumored to have backwards compatibility? Gary, what, you just bought a PlayStation 4 Pro.
Finally did it. Finally made the jump.
What made you crack? Me? Was it me pushing you?
You know, I got tired of agonizing over it. And honestly, I was feeling a little bit low that week, and I just felt like I needed some retail therapy.
Sure.
So I thought, fuck it.
What do you think so far of it?
It's nice.
You've been playing the Horizon?
We've been playing Horizon. I'm mostly watching it. But my wife's playing it.
I was going to say, wait, is that a crack that you don't play the game that much?
No, she's really, really into it. And in 4K, it looks stunning. It looks beautiful. Yeah. I did a little bit of research and found out that it is apparently the best. If you want to like show off 4K gaming on your PlayStation 4 Pro, that's the best game.
Yeah, that's the one to go.
I read a thing about God of War. I think it was on Kotaku or Polygon or one of those sites that said it's better off to play in favor performance mode than favor resolution. Because the 4K God of War is not brilliant, but at 1080p,
it's a beautiful game.
It looks much better. But yeah, I mean, you can tell when a game jumps from 1080p to 4K. It's just so much sharper.
Yeah.
Just like the quest text and every little detail just pops.
Nice.
And especially in HDR, oh my God, the colors. So
then why did you finally do this when in just 2 years you're going to have a PlayStation 5
well, we
or an
don't know.
Xbox
We
One
don't know for sure. If that's the case, we don't know what those things are going to be if and when they come.
Yeah.
2 years is a long time.
Yeah.
I could afford it. Fuck it. I bought one.
Good way to say it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was, I mean, for me, right, when I pulled the trigger on PlayStation 4 Pros because my other PlayStation was starting to fail. And it's like, it's making a lot of noises. It's trying to eject discs all the time. I've done the screw thing. I've looked in the video. I'm not doing that. I'd rather just get the nicer one and be done with it and have it ready to go.
Yeah.
And like the amount that I use my PlayStation for, the amount that some people use Xbox One X's, I think also help justify this reason. And the fact that, 2 years, sure, isn't that long of a time when you say it like that. But for me, turning on that PlayStation 4 Pro literally every night, whether I'm watching Netflix, whether I'm playing a game, whether I want to have the best quality experience right now.
So is that what you use as like your kind of media hub? Like, do you watch all your streaming channels and stuff?
And we just dumped cable 2 nights ago.
Oh, good
so
for
even
you.
more of that now of Amazon Prime and the Netflix there.
Well, if you got like Hulu TV or YouTube TV,
see, that's what
you get all your. I had a trial of YouTube TV and it's great.
Yeah,
really liked
it.
A
lot of people, that's the first thing they jump to when I said I cut the cord. Like, oh well, now you can get Hulu, and I'm like, no, I just don't watch that much TV. I just really don't watch.
But if you do want to watch TV, that's the way to do it.
The only thing I think we have to figure out is HBO because we like the Westworld.
HBO now.
Yeah, exactly.
How
much is that? $10?
Something like that. It's a separate thing, but you got to have it. You can't not have HBO.
I don't know, Kevin. I'm not going to break the rules and get a Friends account. All right. Coward. I am a coward. You know what I mean? I want to pay for the good stuff. How would you feel, Kevin, if somebody was using Friends accounts, they were sharing a Patreon, and they were taking the bread out of your mouth? Huh?
Okay with it.
Huh?
I'd be okay with it.
You would be?
Yeah.
And then when you come to me in a year and a half, and like, I need a raise, and I'm like, we don't have any more money, and it turns out Gary Wood is sharing an account over there.
Yeah, sorry, I'm giving it to all my buddies.
Yeah. You know what I mean? We do our best.
You're part of the problem.
We do our best.
You got to pay the people what they're worth. You got to pay for the services you love.
It is true that once you transition over onto the side of making stuff and trying to sell the stuff that you've made to people, you tend to take a much more dim view of things like people sharing their, HBO subscriptions.
For me, it goes to what
everybody does it. I know it. But like as a creator, it bums me out because it really is taking money out of our pockets.
Yeah, well, like you hit the nail on the head of us. I think it's like, fuck it, I can afford it. You know what I mean? Like if it was like dire straits or something, and I was still like when I was a poor college kid, right? And it was discs, mind you. Me and my friend Kyle split a Netflix account. Where I was like, let's just do this together, right?
Right.
And we'll do it $5 a piece to get these discs and do that different thing. And we didn't like abuse the system, I don't feel, but like I understand, like, you know what I mean? For like this, I'm definitely not the guy of like when oh man, I wish I could play God of War, but it's $60. I'll figure out a way to pirate or something, or pirate a movie, or do it. It's like, well, no, like you're not owed this thing. It's not like you deserve this just because it exists.
The whole like I can't afford it is the weakest excuse. And again, I know I'm speaking obviously from a tremendous position of privilege because I make good money, but and I understand a lot of people don't, and it's not they can't just say fuck it, I afford it, and I understand that, but it's not but you wouldn't walk out of the store with the PlayStation under your arm because you can't afford it, nor should you pirate a copy of God of War because you can't afford it. Wait for it, there'll be a sale, it'll be $20 in 6 months, get it then.
Kevin, don't pirate party mode, all right? Stop doing that. Thank you. Victor writes in and says, what are the chances Sony updates the PlayStation 4 Pro at E3? I thought this was a good question, a fascinating question.
How would I know? Do you know? Do you have any idea?
Oh no, this is the whole thing. No, we don't know any answers to these questions.
What would that even mean? Updating it like a slim thing?
Yeah,
or?
I don't think you get I think the chances are.
I think you might get a PS4. There's already a slim, isn't there? They already refurbed.
Yeah, they've already
redone
the PlayStation 4. Yeah,
right.
Yeah. But I mean, I could see them easily do that again.
They could slim it down one more time.
Yeah.
And I like it when they get like by the end of the life cycle, like the slim one is like super tiny.
Yeah. I always like that too. Like when the PlayStation 2, it was the PlayStation 1, but even the PlayStation 2 was just like the size of a comic book.
Because the Pro is big and chunky. It's bigger than the Xbox One X.
Yeah, but not by much. It's not like it's huge.
It's weird though that it's weaker. It's a weaker system.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, true, sure.
I know this is not comfortable.
No, I don't care.
As a PlayStation guy.
No. What it's not comfortable with is just that's just not who I am. Like when you start talking about specs, where I'm like,
you just don't care.
If you're about to fall down the rabbit hole of checker boxes and fucking 4K,
I'm not going to talk to you about like trilinear flip flopping.
There you go.
With that, but
I don't even understand what a teraflop is.
I have no idea. All I know is if the
Xbox One X is a more powerful console.
The other, I care about that. That's my experience.
But what about the trophies? You got to care about the trophies.
Like I finally just picked up Burnout Paradise Remastered this week because I'm excited to get it.
Yeah.
Got it on the One X because it's the only one that has 4K, 60 frames a second. You understand that?
I do understand that. I know those are good. Those are good things.
That's what you want.
Yeah. I was telling like the experience for me was I was playing God of War at home on my PlayStation 4 Pro on a normal HD TV.
Yeah.
And then I took my PlayStation 4 normal unit to PAX to play God of War in the hotel, and I couldn't adjust the settings on the TV, so like the black levels were all off. And I'm not that guy, but I was like, man, this TV sucks. But then it was when I got home and I started playing on the Pro again, I was like, oh, I noticed a definitive difference in animation quality and like what's happening. It's running way smoother here.
Again, you don't need to know the technical terms to know if something looks better. You can just tell.
I think there's a good chance, Victor, that something happens with the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 4 Pro in terms of an update. I don't think it'll be drastic. It'll be.
Hold on, they can't create like another. Like a Super Pro, so it's going to get too confusing.
But remember, no. Yeah, but I could see them doing like we've updated the Wi-Fi card in it or whatever. They do that kind of shit all the time.
Things like that.
But that's where they make those announcements. They do it, and like if they're going to make a slimmer PlayStation 4 or
maybe, what do you think the chances are? I mean, okay, no, they'll never do this, but like they could drop. At some point, don't you think that like the regular PlayStation is going to become like the Mini or the Junior or something, and the PS4, the Pro will just become like. The main, they'll drop that down like $100 or something. And that'll be the one
that'll come down to what
unless you're looking for like a real value option.
What the PlayStation 4 one day, and I don't think it's this E3. Again, to be Victor's question, I don't think you're going to see a drastic redesign, but I can see them updating the innards of it to try to make it cheaper to do whatever. I think you see eventually, the PlayStation 4 Pro come down to what the PlayStation 4 price is, and then PlayStation 4 models go on to. Whatever new sale budget.
I don't
price.
know if they really need. I mean, I was just at the store the other day, and they had a PlayStation 4 and an Xbox One X next to one another. And I get it, the One X is more powerful, but man, $100 difference.
Yeah,
that's got to be killing them. Yeah. I'm looking at it and thinking, man, given that there's not a ton of difference between the two, okay, the One X will play your 4K Blu-rays if you care about that. It's kind of silly that the PS4 Pro doesn't. One X has got better graphics, but again, it's marginal in a lot of cases. If I'm like Johnny, regular consumer, probably save the $100 and get the PS4 Pro.
Well, especially because, and I'm not trying to start a console war. What are you going to play on the Xbox One X?
There are games on the Xbox.
I know, but I mean, like, in terms of, wow, I've heard a lot of great things about this God of War right now, and I've heard a lot about all these other PlayStation exclusives. Like, they've really killed it on this generation of like how many exclusives they have.
Seems to be more on the PlayStation.
And it just doesn't slow down as we've continued to go. I can't wait to see what Xbox got up their sleeve this year. As I've said before,
they got to have something, because that whole first year or two that they wasted where they bundled that ridiculous Kinect in with the Xbox One, and it was what, $500, $400. It was way more than the PlayStation, and it murdered them because people just bought the cheaper one.
Nobody wanted that. Yeah, they wanted the machine that was dedicated to games.
Most people just see Xbox, PlayStation. Again, they don't know about specs. They don't care. They know that these are the two big consoles. They've heard of them both. They're both big brand names. Save $100. There's not much of a difference.
I hear you. So yeah, I think there's a good chance that they'll update it in some way, but what that means, I don't know. I'm not that tech guy. You want 2 quick hit God of War questions that are not spoilers?
Okay, yeah, as long as they're not spoilers.
When I read the second one, you'll tell me if it's a spoiler. I don't think it is.
I mean, it might, because I know almost nothing about God of War.
We'll get there in a second. All right. Hold your horses, man.
Okay.
Jeez. Alexis writes into kindafunny.com/KFGD and says, long time, first time, and all that. As an avid trophy hunter, 66 platinums and counting, I've been very curious about God of War's trophy list, but wanting to avoid spoilers, I've stayed away from looking. As someone who's played the game already and loves trophies, Greg, could you talk a bit more about them? Specifically, are there difficulty-related trophies in the game? Thanks for all you do. Keep up the great work. I've talked about this, I think, on this show before, but for sure on Gamescast then, if not that. Remember, our Gamescast review is up right now, youtube.com/kindoffunnygames, Spotify, all the other podcast services, and it is spoiler-free. Don't look at the trophy list for sure. Huge spoilers on there that I think ruin.
Is it kind of like when you get the soundtrack album and the soundtrack,
100%.
The song titles tell you things.
God, that guy dies?
What?
Yeah. No, huge spoilers on the list for me, I think, in terms of somebody who was totally ignorant to what was going to happen to it. So stay away from that. However, really attainable platinum, nothing difficulty related. Everything's going to be great. What's wrong, Kev? I saw you do this point. Gary?
I do?
Don't you regress?
When I talk, though, I'm right up on it.
But then you turn to look at me and you do that.
I'm just going to.
Well, just move the mic. Just rotate the mic.
I'm just going to stay here.
Go to like 3 o'clock. Go to like 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock?
Yeah. It's like, no, your mic. Take the mic to 2 o'clock.
Okay.
There you go.
All right,
see?
okay.
Problem solved.
Good tip.
Here's the one that I will not answer until you say if it's spoilery or not.
Okay.
Tooboomafoo writes into kindoffunny.com/KFGD, and I feel like I just let someone out of an alternate dimension. The old God of War games had a fair amount of sexual content in it. My question is, does the new God of War continue that? I'm wanting to play this game in the living room, but if I will be faced with surprise boobs, I do not want to play it in the main living area, even if that's where the better TV is. Is that a spoiler for me to answer that?
No, that's okay. You can go ahead.
You will be fine to play. I mean, it's violent, of course, but you will be fine. And it's not nearly as violent as the other God of War games.
Less sexy than previous God of War games?
Yeah, and I think they telegraphed that, right? And I think the way we talk about it telegraphs that. And the fact that
the fact that it's like a man and his son just seems to suggest that it's going to be less.
And it's a Kratos dealing with everything that's happened before and trying to be maybe a different person and all these different things. Yeah.
I have a question for you.
Sure.
If this is my first God of War game, is that okay?
Yeah. I feel like maybe you could peruse. I'm sure IGN or somebody's done.
They'll have a
God of War in 5 minutes.
You must watch this 5-minute video.
Yeah, but I think you could also Wikipedia. He screams a lot. Do you know anything about him? You know Kratos' story?
I know that he fought all the Olympian gods and killed them.
Okay, yeah.
That's all I really know.
You should look into it because he's a tortured character, like a Greek god should be or whatever. But so he's a god now, and all this stuff. And like Zeus is his daddy.
I'll find one of these, God of War in 5 minutes.
Real cool thing. You know why his skin's white?
No, why is that?
So like he got tricked into killing his wife and child. And when he did that, the gods they had already cursed him, obviously, to make that happen.
Right.
And then they took the ashes of the wife and child and it fixed them to his skin.
That's hideous.
It's really bad.
Greek mythology was fucked up.
Fucked up, yeah. Especially when David Jaffe's writing it. Here's a question in this vein, Gary Woodhead, that I think you're going to have some interesting questions, points, answers. That's what happens. The counter to a question is an answer. Got it. Mr. Windup Bird writes into kindoffunny.com/KFGD. Says, hello, good kind of funny people. Listening to Greg and Tim talking about the trend of portraying fatherhood in video games on Monday got me thinking, where are all the games about moms? Personally, I was raised by a single mother, so while I can appreciate a well-crafted narrative like The Last of Us and God of War, there's not a lot I can relate to. Why do y'all think there's been so many dad games and so few mom games? Thanks for reading.
Damn good question.
We were talking about this. Somebody wrote in, obviously, as he says, when Tim and I were on about like, hey, Last of Us, hey, God of War, a lot of dad games, a lot of dad motifs. Why? And what I had said is, well, I think it shows the people who make your games growing up and continuing to grow, right? Where you suddenly, as you get into the later years of Neil Druckmann, the later years of Cory Barlog, they have children. They start having those themes in their life.
And those themes do inevitably seep into your work. There's no
so you want to
it.
go do that. You know, I assume you know this as a writer, yes? Do you find that happening?
Yeah, I mean, look, you see it in stand-up comedians as well. I remember I used to watch, like, back in the day, you know, like Dennis Leary and Louis C.K., and they used to do all these... bits about, that were very much kind of drawn from their single life. And now it's all about being a dad because that's their lives.
Yeah. So why do you think we're not, is it an indictment of there not being as many women making games or writing these stories that we're not getting those?
It's a really good question. I'm trying to think of an example of a game, like even in the indie sphere. I'm sure there are some that I'm just not thinking of right now.
I mean, right now, from what we've seen and what the rumors are, right, I feel like, no spoilers, obviously, but I think The Last of Us Part 2 seems like it's going to be a mom.
Could be.
A story between,
could be,
Ellie's mom, who we think is in that trailer. And I it's one of those we all started talking about it, and I'm not sure what the conclusion was. There's something there, right? But I wonder, I don't know, and I don't have the answer either. But I wonder if it is a fact that, we're a male-dominated industry. So, granted, we're making strides all the time to have more women involved and more women be creators. But also then the fact, even if I was, and this is me projecting and hypothesizing a lot, even if I was a female creator and I wanted to tell a story about a mom and whoever, would I sit there and think, well, maybe the protagonist should be male. Maybe I should make it a father figure because that'll connect with more people. That'll sell better, something to that effect. I don't know. It's
a good question. You got me thinking. Like, we've definitely seen the pendulum swinging towards, more female protagonists. Obviously Lara Croft's been around for longer. But you think about Aloy. You think about what's the name of the character from Battlefront 2?
Oh, Janina's character. Yeah.
Janina's. We're just gonna call her Janina's character.
Eden or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. But I think we're seeing like greater representation and something closer to equality. But going from there, and we do see these themes of kind of male
Iden Verso or Iden Versa or something like that. That
yes.
was it.
But what we haven't seen is what you said, like a lot of games are kind of maternal themes. I would like to see that, though. It'd be interesting.
I would too, and I feel like we're going to get there in the same way that we're seeing a lot in quotes of father-son games. Like, we're not. Like, the father stuff is happening, and it's starting to happen more, but it's not like there's this deluge of it, right? It is cool. God of War, Last of Us, and even that is a...
Walking Dead did it, even though they weren't like directly father and daughter. Obviously, there was a thing there. And they weren't father and daughter in Last of Us either.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh, though. You raise a good question there of like, could The Walking Dead season 4, which you're of course consulting on, be the first mom game? Because she's got AJ. Like that's
I'm not at liberty to say.
I know. But I know I did hosted the panel. We saw some of the stuff.
How was that?
It was great. Yeah,
you've actually seen more of the game than I have.
Yeah, you should look at it. It's really, they've redone some of the stuff there. It looks pretty dope. If I'm saying so myself. But yeah, that's one of them. But it's interesting. Yeah, I don't have an answer for you, Mr. Wind-Up Bird, as to why there's not more.
I do remember
games.
when we broke the story for that season, there was something we put into the first episode that I remember thinking, oh, that's going to be so great. And I hope they've held on to it. Because I haven't checked in with them in a while. I need to do so, though, and make sure that the thing that I'm talking about in very vague terms that I thought would be so cool, that they didn't somehow lose that along the way.
You're a story consultant on? Is that the deal?
Yeah. I'm not writing one of the episodes this time around. I just kind of consulted on the overall story.
So what does that mean? Yeah, you went in.
I sit in a room and I say, here's an idea, or I'll listen to someone else's idea and say, that's good, but what if we also did this and blah blah blah? And you just kind of just an extra voice in the room to help out.
Seems like I could do that job. It doesn't seem that tough.
You should try it. Give it a try sometime. I'll bring you into a writer's room sometime. You see,
just bring me on in.
See how you do.
Bring me on one of the Star Wars ones, because you guys are not using Watto to his full potential.
No, I hear that a lot.
Okay, good. Well, think about it. You have pull now. You know what I mean? Sneak them in something. Final question of the day. Ooh, I bit my tongue. Goes to Charles Shreeve, who wrote into kindafunny.com/KFGD and says, "Hello, Greg and Mr. Witta. I hope this day finds you well. Today, the new update for loot boxes in Battlefront 2 comes out. The update makes it so players can use real-world money to buy different skins and appearances for characters. These can also be bought with in-game currency that can be earned through the game's multiplayer and arcade modes. Do you think this update will change the public's opinion on Star Wars Battlefront 2 and bring in more players who are reluctant to buy the game at first? Despite all the controversy, my friends and I still play this game on a weekly basis and always have a blast doing so. Thanks for all you do, Charles. No. I think public opinion has set sail on this one.
The latest step in them trying to kind of walk back the catastrophic business from last holiday season.
I remember when it got announced and they ran through it. It sounds like this is what people wanted, just cosmetic stuff. That's it. That's all people want from microtransactions. I saw an interview
with I think is it Patrick Soderlund the other day, who basically just kind of threw himself on his sword and said, "Yeah, like we fucked up.
Yeah,
like,
we talked about that.
Absolutely got it wrong.
Yeah,
and we apologize. We will be looking at this stuff more carefully in future." You know, it was an embarrassment to I think the problem with it wasn't just an embarrassment to EA, it was an embarrassment to Star Wars. Yeah. And when you do that, they're going to bring the thunder.
Sure.
And so they've obviously had to walk it all back. Whether or not this is, Battlefront 2 is kind of yesterday's news now,
that's
no matter what, right? It's you have a small window to kind of grab people before the next thing comes along. So I mean, I'm glad that they're doing this, and I think the changes and the epiphanies that they've had about loot boxes will probably be more valuably learned in Anthem and other things going forward. I think it might be too late for Battlefront 2.
I think it is too, and I think a great example of something I thought the same case of that now is changing their story, but in a way Battlefront 2 can't, is No Man's Sky. Where No Man's Sky came out, all that shit happens. Lots of people were disappointed, but they're committed to fixing it. And they put out these different updates that people who are still playing are like, oh man, it's a different game. Oh man, they're making the game you want. And so many people are like, I'm already done. I already had my time. It's over, it's over, it's over. Now that they're putting that out finally on Xbox One, I feel like that's a new audience. And suddenly that audience gets to pick that up and be like, what are people talking about? This game was great or whatever, if they think that.
Speaking of, I imagine you may already have covered this earlier in the week. Did you talk about that Destiny 2 player summit they're going to have?
No, I didn't. But I've been gone for a day, 2 days.
Maybe they did it on one of the earlier shows. But like Jared and I, when I was here, I think the last week or the week before, we talked about how there was a story about how Destiny 2 is still struggling to keep its players happy. Like they just can't find the right balance, and there's a lot of dissatisfaction out there.
Yeah.
So they're having a big player summit where they've got like people from the player community are coming in to kind of see what they're trying to be more transparent. And
they better bring Fran Mirabella, man, because I'm sick of his 36 tweets in a row about whatever the hell they put in a patch note about a gun.
Where's Fran? Is Fran still IGN?
No, he's still at IGN, yeah.
Okay, but he just tweets out everything.
Oh my gosh! Anything happens with Destiny, you kick a Fran beehive, and he gives you 36 tweets about this one thing. I know what you're saying, man.
All right,
I know what you're saying. Just play the game. Fran, whatever. Time to squad up. This is where one of you writes into kindafunny.com/KFGD, giving me your name, username, platform of choice, and why you need help in video games. I read it here. The best friends come and find you, and everybody plays games together. Today, Sarah needs help on her PlayStation 4. Her PSN name is Airsosick, all one word. She says pronounced Airsosick. Come on, Shu, let me change my name. Airsosick says, after spending the last couple of months away from my PlayStation 4 due to personal circumstances, I'm finally ready to jump back in. I excitedly logged in to Destiny 2 last night to find that all of my in-game buddies have left my clan, and now I'm all alone.
We might know why.
Yeah, frowny face. Looking for people who will play Destiny 2 with me when the new expansion drops, and for people who will play Monster Hunter with a newbie when I pick it up later this week. I swear, I don't bite. Sarah, a.k.a. Airsosick.
All right.
Go find her, play games with her, have a good time. Gary, it's time for you wrong.
Okay.
Wait, you want to look? You want to do the honors? There's a lot in there. You're gonna have to. You have to be quick on it.
Are these all new from today?
These are all today. Remember, we ask you if you're watching live on twitch.tv/kindafunnygames.
Call of Duty is on a 3-year dev cycle. I believe we said that.
Yeah, you write into kindafunny.com/you're wrong. Tell us what we screwed up. We screwed up.
Okay. To meet there.
I tell you what, Kev, I don't wear the billowy shirts much anymore because I got all the Stitch Fix slim fits.
All right. So in fairness, I'm being told here that Burnout Paradise Remastered is actually in 4K 60 frames a second on PS4 Pro as well.
Burn. That's what you get. Looks like you earned your Microsoft paycheck today, money hat.
OG Xbox One was $500 when it first launched versus PS4's $400. That is correct. And again, you're still seeing that $100 gap. Not at the lower level, but at the top level. I think the Xbox One S and the regular PS4 is still $300, right?
Yeah.
But the One X is $500.
Yeah.
Is the Xbox One S cheaper? I can't remember.
No, Xbox One S
IGN does have a God of War story in 7 minutes video. So that's where I will be spending 7 minutes. Regarding Kratos' backstory. By the way, when I said Greek mythology is fucked up, I don't want people to think that I thought that Kratos was a part of like actual Greek mythology.
They're like, actually, Kratos
he's
is
a
involved.
More recent creation, but I'm saying that what they did, that awful thing you said about that, is very much in the spirit of the ways that the gods tortured mortals in Greek mythology.
Bad gods.
Ares sent Kratos to destroy a town with a temple dedicated to Athena, and it was actually the oracle of that temple that affixed the ashes of his slain family to his skin to always remind him of his actions, not the gods themselves. There you go.
You're splitting hairs. Fuck you.
Aiden Versio is the protagonist.
Somebody's got to say it, Kev.
No, you're right, bro.
The first Ni no Kuni can be considered a game about the relationship of a boy and his mother.
Oh, well, yeah, okay.
Oh, as you said, Aiden Versio is... This is a good one because it kind of combines two subjects.
Oh, nice.
As you said, Aiden Versio is the main character in Battlefront 2, but spoilers...
Uh-oh. Oh,
so
spoilers, everybody.
Earmuffs on if you haven't played Battlefront 2 story mode, but you want to. She's also a mother.
Oh.
Her daughter, Zay Miko, is introduced in the Resurrection DLC.
Oh.
Interesting. That's all we got.
Oh, we did pretty good then.
Yeah.
All right. Not too shabby.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
I think when
by.
you and I do it, it's usually we're pretty solid.
We're buttoned up.
Yeah.
It's when Jared wants to talk about some game that came to the Amiga or whatever. Everybody's like, well, you're going to screw that up.
Yeah, or the latest Chrono Trigger update from it. Oh my
that
God.
guy, you know what I mean? But he's on tomorrow with me hosting Kinda Funny Games Daily. Remember, each and every weekday, we run you through the nerdy video game news that you need to know about before jumping in to all your questions, comments, and concerns from kindafunny.com/KFGD. You can watch the show on twitch.tv/kindafunnygames. You can watch it later on youtube.com/kindafunnygames. You can watch it. No, you can watch whatever's in front of your eyeballs while you listen to it on podcast services around the globe, including Spotify. We'll be back tomorrow. Until then, thank you, Gary. And no, it's been our pleasure to serve you. We're getting lights off early.